pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, anybody wishes to address council? Early, that's something.
No, I was just coming here just in case anybody came in. I see there was a lot of questions about the lease and the sewer authority road on Facebook. I was just coming to, if anybody had any questions, I can address that.
I don't know anything about
No,
it.
you're talking about,
It's like an anonymous post on Facebook about, we had some people riding on our lease out here by Packer Street. And someone posted more or less saying it's a private property and there's a couple people in town that were saying you're not a borough council member, you can't say who can ride on the sewer road. Another person was saying it's a sewer road, but I'm pretty sure it's, you have the right of way, it's, you guys don't own it. Correct?
no, we don't own it.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah,
No,
right.
we just have it, we have these.
Yeah.
Easement to it.
Yeah.
A lot
Is
of
that
people work
supposed
on
to
it.
have the trail cam pictures of various four
Yes,
wheelers?
that was a
side by
member,
sides?
that was a member of, that had pictures of people riding on it. He was just saying, hey, I mean, we can prosecute you for riding on it because it is private property, you're not a lease member. And some people from Jewett were saying, like, you're not a borough council, you can't say who can ride on it, you can.
Okay, because I wasn't sure
Yeah.
what private.
No, we-
I didn't know if anybody was coming to,
What lease are you talking about?
the lease here, it's a line of Emporium, it's on the left side of Packer Street, the Duffy Road going down through. It runs from there to almost Myers' house, going towards Lance Point.
No.
This is the first
If
time
I bring
hearing about
anything,
it.
I tell them that we just have our easement to go for, work on things.
Yeah.
Has anything to do with us.
That's all I was here, just to answer some questions if anybody had any.
You
Thanks, guys.
answered mine because I didn't know where they were talking about, so
Yeah,
thanks.
no problem. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Anybody else to address council?
Let me just say again, any new news on the sale of sewer?
No, and we'll let you know if there is, you don't even have to.
Well, no, I'm gonna bring it up every
No.
month. That's all there is to that, because I just don't wanna miss out somehow. So, because I might miss a
No,
meeting.
there isn't. There isn't.
But let me also ask, while we're on that subject, I noticed that we've got the Eats group here. What are they doing exactly? I've missed a couple meetings.
Well, they're gone ahead and they're surveying for the proposed PennVest application. So we're gonna go through with getting everything surveyed and engineered, so we can get some things fixed, if we decide to take the PennVest offer, if it's beneficial.
The PennVest, I just need a little explanation, because I'm not sure I understand it all, but the PennVest is what is it, a grant or what?
It's grant/loan, depending on the available funds at the time, and your affordable rate for the community.
Yeah.
Every quarter, you can apply. And if we don't like what we get back from PennVest, say we put in October, and it comes back and they give us 50% grant, 50% loan, we can turn around and say, no, thank you, and we'll wait. So it depends on the amount of municipalities applying for the funding. We might apply, they have a set pool of money for every quarter. And if we apply and only 2 municipalities apply, we might get 90% funding, 10% loan. It happened in Hazelhurst with their water company.
Okay, that sounds good, but what, so there, I saw them surveying.
Yes, to replace lines.
Surveying to replace lines that we don't really know need to be replaced yet.
That's neither here nor there. We're
Well-
doing the engineering.
What's that?
We're doing the engineering on it.
I know, I'm wondering how much does something like that cost?
You were here at the meeting, I believe, it was $300-some thousand.
I think it was $460,000.
That's pretty good.
230.
But once it's engineered, it doesn't go away, it doesn't need to be re-engineered.
No, I understand
20
that.
years from now, if it does, the plans are set.
No, I understand that. which is, so that part's okay.
Well, we
If I'm
also
not
don't have two
mistaken-
pictures
if
of
I'm not
knowing where all the sewer
mistaken-
lines are, do we?
I'm just listening to him.
So are they I think I talked to you before, and they said that there really are no plans where any of the sewer is that?
They're not 100% accurate, and this gives us a better survey. There's a lot of, on our current mapping, there's a lot of manholes that don't seem to exist, that either were paved over or don't exist. So that also helps us find our existing infrastructure.
Yeah.
So they'll be making accurate maps with up-to-date levels and everything else, you know, they'll be
Do
doing
you have
slopes.
maps of the sewer now?
Years ago, we had somebody come in, I can't remember, they were out of Hazelburg, sort of thing, and they did the mapping, and they kind of did some rude GPS coordinates, and we've gone out with these maps, and it hangs in the old sewer office. Some of the ones that are supposed to be there don't, some of the ones that are there aren't where they're supposed to be, or on the wrong side of the road. So this will be a
But
more
is
accurate
there
count.
not anything from like at the courthouse in McKean County or Mount Jewett?
No, this stuff was done in the 30s and 40s, and they put it in, and that's where it is.
Yeah.
Every municipality has to have their own stuff in the files. County does not take care of it.
And our borough building burned down in the 60s or the 50s. They were probably 59. So they're probably a decent amount of mapping, and all our stuff got burned.
Yeah.
I think all our ordinances were what, Lewis Rock?
So a lot of what you had is
Just
non-existent.
gone. Yeah. And when the-
Yeah, well, I just
put it
didn't
in
know, you know,
died.
I mean, I'm just trying to get an idea of exactly what, because I thought there was a figure thrown around of like $400,000, but I wanted to confirm that that was what it was, and I didn't know.
Go back to the meeting minutes. Yeah, it was all agreed and passed, and that's what we're working.
Yeah, okay.
Anybody else from the public? Okay, public comments will be closed at this time. Mayor's report.
I don't have a whole lot, I just, I know we have the Swedish Festival coming up, which is a big deal, so, I don't know if are we gonna get constables this year? Is that something we're talking about a little
I
bit?
have it here to
Oh,
talk
okay,
about.
other than that, I know Barb handled the fireworks permit, I think we should be in good shape, but I don't really have too much else, honestly.
I mean, since you brought up the constable, probably. Is anybody not aware as far as we hire the constables, the borough hires them to kind of help keep the peace?
Probably done it 3 years ago.
We do need to have a motion if we're gonna hire them again. We did it for, how many hours? Like, Barb, do you remember how many hours we did?
I think it's 12, 12?
12 Friday night and 12 Saturday night?
Yeah, I believe that's what it is.
There's an amount in the budget that
That
shows, what, I guess what we paid last year, maybe plus a little bit.
Yeah, I think we put it in the budget.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the festival hires security overnight still too.
Yeah.
But it's just have them.
Yeah, they're gone by
We're out in
midnight
town,
anyhow.
Yeah, yeah. Just an extra.
So
But they're here during the parade and stuff
Yeah.
when there's
Jane
the biggest.
makes a motion, so I want to second that. Jesse seconds it. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, I'll get a hold of them.
Do you have anything else on the
No.
motion? Accept the-
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the mayor's report.
Motion made by Brett Morgan, second by Jesse Leitner. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Maintenance report. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to read that over.
How much have we put into the sinkholes at the ball field so far?
You know, I forgot to ask them, because I know they've been up 3 or 4 times.
Is
With
there
some
also
in it.
now? Well,
I don't know, I just,
No, we got material in the lot, just put it in, and that's what they did.
yeah, I don't think it's been, I just, they go up when they start looking like it's down a little bit, and we put more in it. anticipating a look up there at the east end, but I think they got it all done today. And that's showing where they did part of it in the month of June. But they did finish that up today.
And they'll do,
Oh, they don't, the crosswalks aren't done. 'cause
we had
they
to
ran
order
out-
more paint.
Ran out of paint, so they won't be until Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Okay, motion made to accept the maintenance report, second by Jane.
Who
Everybody in
motioned
favor?
it?
Brett,
Thank you.
second by Jane. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Okay, sewer maintenance report, Jesse.
We have,
That's what I was thinking. He's a sewer committee report. So, we had a couple of overflows at the East End Pump Station at the beginning of June. I reported them, but they weren't technically overflows, they were inflows. After going down and looking at it, I called Jesse and I had Tom come down and look at it. The overflow pipe was actually 3/4 of the way full with all the rainwater that we had, the storm water we had coming out of the ditch. The ditch needed to be cleaned because the water was not able to evacuate the pump station and actually inflowing into the pump station. That happened back in 2020 when we had the old setup. This is the first time with the new setup. We actually put a dedicated overflow line into the ditch, whereas before it was tied into the old storm sewer that comes from the Assembly of God Church down, and it was backflowing in, causing us to be in overflow state for days. Talked to Tom, talked to Jesse, did an emergency, get it cleaned out, and it's been no problem since. Other than that, everything with the pump stations, both pump stations in the plant have been going fine. We did have one employee quit, and I'm sure this will come up in personnel, but we retained a previous employee after conversations with council members to hire somebody back to 10 shots, and he is working out well. So, other than that, everything seems to be going okay at the ponds and the pump stations.
Brett, something that I talked to you about when we were down there, as far as having to come up with some type of idea, price, or project for cleaning that ditch right down to the Snowdon Road. You know, back there, it's been, I don't know how many years ago, but since it's been cleaned.
Yeah.
Had to be somewhere back when my brother Jack first had horses. They had it too high and the horses couldn't get down up the other side. They had to come back and knock it down so the horses could get through the property down there.
Well, I mean, there are our stormwater tail ditches, and we're entitled to go through and clean them. We just need to get a price.
For the rest of it, I mean, that, it's a storm sewers all go down through there, but yet our, you know, sewage, you know, ties in, so I was trying to figure out whether it's something that should be split between the sewer and the borough, or what we should do as far as trying to come up, you know, for the cost of it, to have it done.
Well, if you get the cost first, the sewer, while it does overflow where it's not supposed to, it just happens to be a conduit to it. The Tail Ditch Act, I can't remember the year, that constitutes we can maintain our stormwater, and I'm sure that would be covered by liquid fuel. We got like 150,000 in liquid fuel, so if we check to see that that can be covered, you can't see it being that much. They're not hauling it out, they're just spraying it on the bank. I think we paid $2,000 or something for Mark to come do a sizable amount. And if we did it down to the Borough line, we probably wouldn't have to do it
And
for
he's
years.
got a smaller excavator, and it works nice to get on along, and when he did what he did, it, you know, he did pretty slick at being able to get on along with it. Something's gotta be done, that's been years, many years since that's been done, and it's all grown up, and the water can't flow like it should.
Trees are probably a problem too.
Yeah.
We used Mark Severance this last time, but I don't know, we'd have to look at the properties down from where he cleaned out before, because he did it this time, he did it 5 years ago, but if there's trees grown up or something, or if the ditch gets wider, his equipment might not handle it, I don't know. I'd have to have a larger estimate.
We could, get looking at some, get people and look up the pricing.
Was this does, yeah. They-
Or does,
Yeah, Fade holds excavating.
is there gonna be something to put up for bid then, or just?
It'll depend on the price. If we
Yeah.
get a price of, under 10 grand, we don't even have to put it out for phone bid. And it'll just, we'll have to kind of kick some tires and see where it's at. If it's a super price, we'll bring it back next month. Probably be something we best done in the fall when all the foliage is off. It's not raining anymore. Hopefully.
But I just wanted to bring it to council's attention, that something definitely needs to be done with that, to get that flow, that it should be.
And that's something that can be done in the winter that might actually, if we had to go it on the property owner's side, something in January where we're going through and the ground is solid, wouldn't tear up everything as much too, you know what I mean? So it's not anything that's pressing, but get prices.
It might help too, runoff from the snow melts.
What's that?
It might be good to have it done in the fall though, because if we have any
Before it
frost
thaws,
in the
yeah.
winter, the melt and runoff has somewhere to go and not just.
All right.
Just like, so I'm driving at it, is if we do it, before it's all frozen, we might have more restoration from the sense. If we can do it on the other side of the ditch where it's all
I think every
ground up, it'll be
time
fine.
before they started, one end to the other and work up through it and move it.
Do we want to leave the air conditioner on?
All right, well, we'll look into that, get some prices.
I'm just
bring it back.
thinking maybe people can't hear us that well.
Okay, Borough Manager report.
The county,
Um,
oh, yeah, you forgot to do
Main,
it.
or, get a motion to accept the sewer maintenance report. Motion by Annie, second.
Second.
Second by Brett.
No.
Who? Oh, Jesse. No. Motion been made and seconded. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Borough Manager report.
Okay, the county's been working on updating the hazard mitigation plan, which is part of our emergency response plan. And it's been accepted by FEMA. We did adopt it before, but we have to pass a resolution to adopt the new plan. I attached the resolution. You should all have had time to look it over. So I'll need a motion in a second to do that, if you guys want to do that.
Make a motion to accept that now.
Second.
Motion been made by Brett, seconded by Anna to accept the hazardous mitigation plan. Everybody in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, I've received notification that the borough will receive $1,794.81 in county liquid fuel funds. We've used this in the past to offset our sand and salt purchases. You guys will need the motion to let me for me to go ahead and do this. And then I'll finish out my application for the money.
What's that? Jesse motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Brett. Everybody in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, the service plan for the solar mixers at the sewer plant is due to be renewed. I think it comes due in September, if I'm not mistaken. I forwarded it to everybody to look at. You'll have to, you guys review it, decide on how you want to move forward. I forwarded all the information received from In-M Engineering regarding doing the sidewalk for Anderson Street to Oberg Avenue. It included a quote of $3,250 for design and assistance in planning for the grant, or applying for the grant. I just need to confirm that this is fine to move forward, because you guys have set $10,000 from the CD that is maturing to start the process of getting it done. So if everybody's in agreement, I can let them know to go ahead and get started.
Make a motion to that effect.
I'll second.
Motion made by Brett, seconded by Frank. Everybody in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
The truck's been placed on municipal bid and advertised in the newspaper. I told them that I needed all bids due by 4 PM on August 4th, which is our next meeting date. It gives people time to come look at the truck and make a decision if they want to put a bid in it or on whatever. And then you guys could open the bids or whatever and award it at your next meeting. Okay.
As far as the service plan for the solar mixers, it has gone up significantly over the past couple of years. But they're the only thing we have doing aeration out of the two that are running in the front. So if those go down, we're dead in the water. So I would highly advise that we, and I'll make a motion to the fact that we sign into the service plan. Our electric bills were significantly higher than would be if we were running the short power ones, so we're still saving money. And we had one when I was on the sewer board years ago, get hit by electric because they didn't want to pay the $21,000 that it cost back then, and it cost them a significant.
No, they did pay
Oh,
it,
they did
remember?
pay it.
Patrick didn't want to pay it.
Yeah.
And everybody else agreed to, and then we got
It
hit by
would've cost us
electric, and it paid for the entire,
It would've cost
3
us a
years?
significant amount.
Yeah. So it's up to you guys, if you wanna do a 1 year and see what it is next year, if you wanna lock in 2 years, 3 years,
Sure.
you'll have to make that decision.
So, we did 3 years last time, right?
We've done 3 years every year since we put it in.
I'm making a motion that we do that for 3 years.
How much does that come to a month?
A little over 1,000.
So it was $3,250 or something.
$1,000 a month.
No, a year.
Oh, a year?
No, it's 13,000 a year
Oh,
plus.
13, okay.
But we're not paying electric on the other ones, and they're not operable, and they're not in, and they're gonna cost us quite a bit to get in. Right now, this is all we have, so if one goes down, we're not. So until we have something else to put in there that's
Well,
ready
the
right
whole-
now, you can't do it.
It pays for everything.
Yeah.
If a battery goes dead, they replace the battery for nothing. If you break a solar panel, they come repair it for nothing. You know, I mean, like I said, it's up to you guys what you decide to do, but.
Motion was made by Annie, is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Okay, Jesse seconds that motion. Everybody in favor, say aye. Anybody oppose it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Jane, you too?
Yes.
Okay. And you
It
wanna
seems
lock
like
it?
an awful lot of money.
What?
I don't see
I
the
said
savings.
correct, that's a nay.
Okay.
There's no
Annie, you said for
savings.
3, to lock it in?
On the electric.
That's because we're not using any electric.
Yeah, but
But
prior
we
to
turn the other
that,
ones on.
Okay,
prior to that, the electric bills weren't that high.
okay,
All right, so it's 4-2, so 5, I vote yes, so 5-2. Motion carried.
okay. What else do I have? The advertisement for new bids for the pocket park will take place in the fall. It was decided by the engineer that the companies have already lined up their work for the rest of this year. And that if we put it out in September, October, that we'll get good bids for next spring. And we have enough time with both grants to do it. I've sent probably 10, 11 letters for code violations this month, so things seem to be going okay. That's all I got.
Back to this sidewalk thing. What else included in that quote for $3,250 for design and assisting in applying the grant? Is it applying for the grant?
He's going to assist me. I'll actually
that-
put it into the computer, but
Mhm.
he'll draw up like the narratives and that.
And how much of that 3,250 is gone for that?
For the grant,
Yeah.
I don't think they broke it out that far. I mean, I sent them all to you guys.
I have a copy of that if you need it. I have a copy of that if you need it. Sure. For the cash.
I don't, he didn't break it out, like, we're gonna charge 500 to do this, 500 to do that. It
He said,
was,
when we met with him, he said it'd be included.
it would be included in the 3250.
Yeah.
But that's the design and everything.
Yeah.
Are they doing something different over there with it? I'm sorry, I don't know what all.
I don't know, I
Designing
just
a
know that
sidewalk.
any grant that we have, we're gonna have to have
The initial
designs to
design.
do the sidewalk.
Remember that?
You know, to make sure everything's handicap accessible and all
Okay,
that.
so,
Yeah.
way low.
I don't know, I know, you know, we
But I saw that they
put
want
probably
first,
$160,000 in
first
the last,
chance at bidding or something?
in the design.
Yeah.
Well, I mean.
But we
have to
can't
put it out
apply
to
for the
bid,
grant
you know.
without the
Yeah.
design.
But personally, after the project and the streets that we did the first part, I definitely don't wanna go through that crap again, what we went through is.
No. Well, look at the county sidewalk. It's big and it's dirty.
Yeah.
So, thinking about this whole project, that's just the one side, but now they're going in for grant funding. When we had kind of thought about this, is maybe we just get that bad section of sidewalk done. If we're gonna put in for grant funding on top of PennVest funding, that they're gonna be ripping up sidewalks anyhow when they go to do the laterals. So hopefully, if we would go with PennVest, it would be after that. Maybe it makes sense to do the rest of from Anderson Street all the way to the bank and all the way down to Phillips Street.
I believe
Get
that's
that
what we
section
talked
done.
about when
I didn't
when
know
you
if
were
that was in
talking
the
to him
scope.
in there. I mean, I said just until, but when they were talking in there, he actually said phase 2, which would take it all the way out.
Because when we initially started this, we were
Right.
going from Division Street all the way to
Right.
Phillips
And
Street,
towards the-
where we had to pull
Turn
it down
down
for the
and
pool
then-
of money.
right.
Because, well, some of those are 3 sidewalk blocks wide, so I wasn't sure if this 3,500 was just for that section.
No, well,
And if we put 10 grand, we do the whole thing and engineer.
The whole thing.
Okay.
And this is a summarization of what the different options are, right?
The
in
different
email that
grants,
you sent
yeah.
us?
Yeah.
Different
Yeah,
type
because I
of-
was looking through them, I just kind of made my own notes about what I thought might be good.
If we could stay away from the PennDOT one, it would probably be the best, given our experience with the last one. COVID didn't help us here in some engineering stuff.
Okay, anything else on the borough manager's report?
I don't have anything else, thank you.
What's that?
I don't have anything else, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? I'll get a motion.
So are we going forward with this piano?
Yes.
Okay.
A motion to accept borough manager's report.
Motion made by Jesse, second by Ona, accept the borough manager's report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approval of the minutes, everybody had a chance to, I hope, go through the minutes. Motion, accept the minutes. Motion by Brett, second by Annie. Everybody in favor, say aye.
I
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Just your, the approval of the treasury report and payment of bills for the borough. Motion's been made. Any second, Annie seconds it. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approval of the sewer department financial report and payment of bills.
This sewer backup, that was discussed last month, or is that something different? McClellan,
Happened twice.
Yeah, that was Servpro that had to come in and clean it.
yeah,
Last month it was just a bill for the running the jet. the guys that cleaned it, or, cleaned the lines. But as far as the basement itself, they don't do that, we have to get Servpro.
Which was turned into the insurance company and it was
Yeah, they-
reimbursed to us.
We paid them, but the insurance company reimbursed us.
Our insurance.
Motion to accept the sewer department financial update.
A motion's been made to accept the sewer department financial report and the bills. Anybody second?
Second.
Owner Barr seconds it. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody? Okay. All right, committee reports. Maintenance of streets and building street paving and repair.
Okay, good, a couple things. First off, you have an estimate for boom mowing, don't have one, and a lot of the streets are getting overcrowded with small shrubs and debris. So you get the estimate from Baden-Holtz Excavating. For boom mowing of Center Street, Pearson Street, Hacker Street, Lumber Street, Division Street, Jackson Avenue, and Keesler. Going up to 14-foot high, taking care of everything. I think this is a decent deal. And I think if we did this every couple of years, we'd be fine. Some things have been able to get out of control because we just don't have the equipment to maintain it. I also believe this is something to be paid for out of the fuels because it's for street maintenance. So the money's there, and we have no plan on paving anything this year.
So here's my question.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, we're not paving anything this year. We
Right.
put 10,000 into street repair, highway construction, and then we also have 40,000 in liquid fuel. So the money's there to do these small things if we're not gonna pave anything this year. And we're not gonna pave anything this year. Hopefully we'll get it all bidded out this fall, be able to do a decent paving project next year.
So why can't we do it?
But we don't have the equipment to do it. We have one
We have
guy.
weed whackers?
We have one guy
Oh, that's-
that works full-time mowing, and we got one guy that works full-time mowing part of the sewer in here, and there's trees. If we had a piece of equipment to do so, tree limbs up to 14-foot high,
Down here,
keep the shade off,
It's almost
shouted it.
coming out over the top of the street, he'll take that back to his back and mow along the edge too.
Now, we have a tractor that we can put down to the sewer, we can put a sickle bar mower on, but this has gone over the edge where sickle bar mowers aren't handling this. These guys spend weeks going, trying to trim this stuff off with this thing and do it 2 days.
Yeah, plus the borough crew is listed on there to help pick up the debris off the roads
Right.
and the ditches, so they are doing
Yeah, because he wanted to know,
part of the work.
we wanted to have a truck and a guy, pay for a truck and a guy to clean it up, and they said, no, we'll take care of that part of it.
Most municipalities deal with this. When I ran Hamlin's Road Department, we hired people to come trim our stuff back because we didn't have a piece of equipment to do so. And with the liability aspect of it, you got somebody out there with a chainsaw, and they slip and fall in a ditch or whatever, trying to get something up and whack themselves with a chainsaw, you can have a piece of equipment taken down. It's just good practice, and the money's there. I make a motion, we accept this estimate.
Okay, motion been made by Brett, seconded by Ona. Hire Baden-Holt Excavating. Everybody in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, so another street paving repair stuff. We've had an incident, and apparently it's happened a couple times every rainy season for quite a while on Hill Street. Down at the intersection of Hill and Main, Jerry Swartz has a problem where his footer drain drains into a drainage ditch, and there's also an influx of water from the Assembly of God Church, and the pipe that goes underneath Route 6 isn't big enough to handle it during storm surge. So what happens is Jerry's finished basement gets backed up with water, and it overflows Route 6, and it fills up Jerry's basement. And there's been some springs pushing in the area. Jerry contacted us, emergency situation we had, the jet company come in, they jetted out the line. This line runs up the north side, Route 6, heading east, it goes across crossed by the sewer pump station. This is part of the problem we had where sewer authority at the time had to get a hold of Centerline Boring and Continental Construction and put a new sewer line underneath Route 6. The existing storm sewer, which is fairly large underneath Route 6, but encompasses everything from Howard Drilling and all the way down and up Bridge Street all the way down, culminate and come across the road. I'm assuming when the water company came through, everything's settled because it's a concrete line, the sewer authority's line was terracotta, the sides busted out, and the storm sewer busted into the sanitary sewer. So we had to put a new line in and push it across, and the sewer cameras got stuck, and it was a nightmare. It's washing out underneath Route 6. PennDOT says that any subterranean drainage is the host municipality's responsibility. The tops are theirs, but the bottom infrastructure is ours. If there wasn't 16 inches of concrete and 9 inches of blacktop over that road, I believe we would have a huge washout down there right in front of the Assembly of God Church. So Jerry's problem, he got a hold of some state senators and representatives. They sent us, I sent to Barb, grant applications. We need to start doing something about this. We dug out the ditch by Jerry's, and we jetted the line to straighten that out. But if that road collapses, I'm pretty sure the state's gonna come back on us. Pipe does need upsized, the catch basins do need redone. It's something that we can't put off anymore, but we can start the planning process for. Senator Dush's office stated that if we put in for the grant, they would send a letter of support as well as Codgers. So there's multiple different avenues to go through. Hopefully we'll get the one that doesn't have any borough contribution, which would be the local share. But we need to get contractors in to get prices and try and get something figured out, upsize the pipe. I think it's 24 inch across the street. Gary's might be 12 where it comes out of his. And that ditch, when it's flowing, it can't handle it. And the pipe that comes from the Assembly of God Church is probably 36 inch. You know, it's a lot bigger. So it's been an issue, and we have a compounding issue down the road, so we'll start working at it and try and get something taken care of. And if we get prices in, maybe we can, if we're gonna do drainage work throughout, I'm sure there's a lot of other areas that we could tack on. But right now, we need to get an idea of the initial price, and then go from there.
So you're thinking from down the side of the highway and across?
Yeah. Follow the same path, I would assume.
Right.
And, you know, and then look at the other ones, because, well, Norma Jean Bernhardt had a problem quite a few years ago. We had to put a check valve in third basement drain because the pipe is partially collapsed and goes across the street there. This is just something that's an unfunded mandate that the state said, municipalities, you gotta take care of it. Now, as soon as you get on the township, they take care of all cross pipes, all catch basins, everything. But in a borough, for whatever reason,
Well, Marty,
everything.
as you know, Mark has taken it for legislation, but it has not made it through. And he did take it through once.
It says the section that if we go in and replace that, but we have to do the layers like they have them,
Oh, yeah, anytime,
Gravel and
anytime,
cement and
yeah, anytime you
blacktop.
dig up Route 6, they make you replace it to the exacting standards. Now, they didn't take out the 16 inches of concrete, they just paved over top of it because it would be labor intensive. They come back, they inspect, and they make you do it that way. Anything under Route 6, you run into that with the water company. Fred Fish will be up here. I spy him.
He's working on,
I'll be glad he's quite the little inspector, put it that way.
yeah.
So we'll just continue on. I'll try and get some prices and get some stuff. It's nothing that's gonna happen soon. It'll hopefully be a next year project, but we gotta, first thing, get some contractors, get some prices, and then we can try and put in for it. That's all we can do, and Jerry's had the problem. Hopefully with the jetting and Severance, when he was digging that ditch out, took some couple scoops out to get the pipes a little lower and things cleaned out. So in the event that we have a deluge, maybe we can Other than that, here in the fall, we'll get prices on paving projects we had talked about, and everything will be teed up for next year, hopefully when IAA and Hotbaker are hungry and sharpen their pencils, they'll be ready to roll in the spring.
All right,
New trucks here, everybody likes it.
finance and insurance.
Well, the only thing that I've got on my head is that we have another, thing due, $50,000 is all that it is. Yeah, if we have to renew it or cash it, and I think that we should renew it for a 9-month, CD, and that way, when it comes due, we would have a better idea if we don't need it for the sidewalk, or and if not, we can renew it for a longer period of time at that time.
You have a 9-month CD.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Brett made a motion, you want to second that?
Doesn't matter, you don't want to.
I'll second.
Jesse seconds. Everybody in favor of renewing the CD for 9 months, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Anything on insurance then? Good. All right, Jesse, personnel.
Pretty much it was already discussed. We had somebody quit, we rehired somebody that was here a year or two ago, I believe, and there's no,
That should probably be motion retroactively.
What's that?
That should probably be motion retroactively with the new hire. Just, so it's on the books, everybody's aware of it, who he is, what's going on.
Well, nice savings about it is he's already has his
Oh, I don't disagree, I just, it
his
should
shots
be,
and stuff, which saves us
$600.
$600.
should be passed through the meeting, just officially. So, I mean, I don't have a problem making a motion to hire back, Dave Gordon at the same rate of pay as the previous employee, just so that it's gone through retroactive to whatever the date was.
I don't remember what day it
End of
was.
June.
Yeah.
So you're making that a
Yep,
motion?
I'll make that one.
I'll second.
Okay. Brett motions it, and Jesse seconds it. Everybody,
Yeah, he took a job, I guess, having 2 boys and was gonna pay $27 an hour. I'm like, okay, can you give us a 2 weeks notice? I was like, what? You know, can't pass that up. You know.
He has a
Thanks.
CDL license, so he got a job driving.
That's good.
okay, motion been made and seconded, everybody in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. All right, nothing else on personnel.
That's it.
Community development, planning and parks. Anything exciting?
No, I just had someone approach me regarding the conditions of the park with sinkholes and whatnot, and I walked up there with, we figured out everything we've been talking about pretty much, and the crack, he was concerned about the pavement, he said it's cracking and it's going to heave and all this other stuff because it was improperly done in his opinion, but, it's better than, but everything's being addressed since they had a new maintenance report, we've been throwing things out without seeing it, and it's gonna take some time, and I told them this isn't a one-time quick fix, it's gonna take some, things have to settle, get filled back in, settle it, and it's not something you can see in one shot.
Right.
So we're just gonna keep filling that hole?
For now, I mean, my thing is, we gotta wait till at least after the Swedish Festival, because they wanna use it for the old timers softball game. So then we can look into whether we wanna see about having somebody go in and dig that one big spot out and see what's going on.
He did mention getting the ditch we dug out on the right-hand side.
ago when this came up, I did have Mark Simmons in, and he came up and looked at it. His advice was fill it, because if they built this ball field on a bunch of tree stumps and cut down brush, if we get into there, I can't begin to tell you what it's gonna cost to dig it out and fill it. So until it's a big problem, you know, if we give, how much to the department for putting in for grants, 20,000, this would be something that if we find a suitable grant, that might be something to go for the gusto and redo the field and whatever else. But
Well, we might not have the 20 grand because how much is your thing? Remember.
70 something, but it's all designated for stuff.
if it would come through.
Yeah, if it
Yeah.
goes through.
But, you know, we will still have the remainder, and it could be more, but to put in for another grant. Right now, if we go digging, exploratory digging and find much stuff, we might not have a usable ball field at all. Huh? It could very well be. Hopefully we find the treasure and not do it
Well.
solved.
It just reminds me of that.
Yeah, it's the money pit. So, it could be both ways.
The fill is free, we're using our own stuff. to fill it, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it goes down a little bit. We don't have big gaping holes where somebody might roll an ankle. I don't think the kid's gonna fall in, but it's just, I think we need to come up with a more comprehensive plan of digging it up. So, it should just be a
I don't even know how you get equipment in there to dig it up the soft, you know, it just.
You'd mess the whole thing up. We really have
Unless
to
you had something
redo
one wall
everything.
on it that you can stay on the pavement, you know, it's not gonna.
I think it's gonna be a hefty investment. We're gonna have to go big time if we wanna get it proper.
All right, fire department. Any, Scott's not here, do you have anything on?
Did you
the
talk
meet?
to Scott or meet with him at all on that thing, or?
I didn't know if you
Because
were,
that's,
yeah, but I didn't know if you were at the meeting, so.
oh, yeah, well, we had a no quorum meeting this past week, so we couldn't really get a whole lot of business done. So the majority of it was just kind of talking about preparing for the Swedish festival and other projects coming up, like we had the boot drive out at Lance Corners, and we did really well. Initial reports from the boot drive, we raised over $3,000. And that's just in a couple hours, just standing there asking for donations. So that's always very helpful, and we're gonna do another one. We usually do it the weekend of the Kinsey Bridge Festival. So that's about it. We're probably gonna try to meet again later this month. We have not been able to get to the signposts, either due to the weather or let's see here, Scotty's little boy was in soccer. Paige just graduated from nursing school, so that was good. So what I mentioned at the discussion, which was not really the meeting, but we gotta get a work group together for that, so.
We gotta get the PA1 call done.
We gotta get that,
So,
yeah.
to give you an idea, within 2 weeks, me and Barb can sit down and get the PA1 call done. I found out that we can do it online, and it won't take me 2 hours on the phone to do half the town. But that'll give us a 2-week window, and at least it'll be marked. And then if I get to resubmit it for another 2 weeks, it'll be okay, and the utility companies won't have to go back out. For the most part, they'll just freshen stuff up.
Yeah, so once we get the posts up, I mean, and the sign sticker, the signs can go up anytime, so.
I'll just let them know to get ahold of me so I can get that one call in.
Okay.
All right, library,
I did not make the library meeting last month because I was on call, but I'm gonna go, that's Wednesday, right?
I don't believe there was anything. Because I didn't make it either.
Oh, no, we went, just over some of the programs that she has, that she had been planning, and, nothing major.
Otherwise, I know there was a window that was broken, Rick had never replaced that.
Yep.
I would think that broke.
It's, the outer pane, the,
Storm.
storm window. All right, anything on the code enforcement?
Barb sent some letters out, and that.
Were any of them resolved?
Some of them. How many are resolved?
Yeah, about half.
Probably all but 2. One's gonna be tough, but I'll get to it eventually.
All right, sewer operations, Jesse, anything?
I talked to the youth group today, the mappings are almost done for up town. He did say, NPDES, if you remember, that's the, after you move just 1 acre of land, it has to be reviewed. Obviously, this is gonna cover the town, so it's gonna be a couple miles, it might take a second. I'll try and keep up on that. I asked Marty to get ahold of me when he submits it, and I'll try and contact the committee covering that, just to see if we can keep it moving, make sure. But everything sounds like we should be on time for October Pen Fest.
So how's the fence going?
I haven't come before yet.
Oh. Sounded important when you talked about it.
It is.
All right, anything else on sewer operations?
That's it for me.
All right, old business, we have nothing.
I do. Well, Milwaukee. So Frank, Kona, and I are respective others went to Milwaukee. And we're always, I guess we're always well represented because like the girl from Port Allegheny came over to our table and said, how come Mount Jewett always has like 6 people here? But anyway, it was a different meeting, I guess, than what I remember. I don't said some questions about like how the leadership goes. I mean, I feel like we could be doing more networking and business and those kind of things. So we were talking about doing the open forum session earlier in the meeting instead of at the end, because people are getting tired and they wanna get going. But we had a really nice, presentation from Community Center in Johnsonburg, the maintenance director there and staff, and it was just really interesting to see how the renovation of the building was done and all the different programming that is there now. And we had Kelly Hughes there with us, so she had some good networking going on, some ideas for that, so I thought it was pretty beneficial. It was just, I guess, a different format than I recall. And I guess I wanted to know when are the next time we are hosting, so we can be ready for that.
Probably 2 years.
Oh, I think it's probably the end of next year, probably. I don't know, because I don't have the thing. But, we did
About a
last
year.
year. I think it's like every other year.
Something like that. Oh, yeah. It's usually like every 3 years, so, something like that.
Yep. But it was good. Johnsonburg was a great host. Good dinner. Good program.
What'd you have?
Oh, you had either beef tips or stuffed chicken breast, and there was a big dessert thing, cupcakes, and I mean, there's all kind of good stuff, so I highly recommend.
All right, new business, we already passed the resolution to adopt the updated hazard mitigation plan. If there was nothing else, we have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made, second. Hopefully everybody.